I'm going to be doing my first budget video, and I'm so excited to be sharing budgeting tips with you now on Wednesdays. Like, oh, I love to budget money and I love helping people budget money, and therefore I'm so excited to do this series. So I'm going to be kicking it off this week with my top 10 tips, say that when you're drunk, of ways to cut your expenses and ways I have cut my expenses down, because a lot of people ask me, like, seriously Em, how is your money and your expenses, your monthly expenses so cheap when I've got like half the amount of bills you pay, and yet I pay more? So I'm going to share my tips with you, and these will particularly help if you're a homeowner more than anything. However, they will help everyone, I suppose. So number one, and this is a homeownery one, and that is to give your gas, electric, water and sewage companies monthly readings. Now I know it's such a drag, and I know they send their own people round. Like, seriously, they send them around, so why do you need to do it? It's all worked out for you. Well, to be honest, I have reduced my monthly bill from £90 to £48 a month for my gas and electric, purely because I give them monthly readings, so everything they're doing isn't estimated or isn't kind of split equally over the quarters, and every time they do a reading, so they come around and do a reading every quarter, it's literally, I give them the information and they can see how much I spend, and therefore they're charging me for what I actually spend, not my average and not the local average that they've just worked out. So it is worth the 5 minutes and the extra hassle and the dirty hands to take the readings and give them a picture, because honestly it does. As I said, I reduced my gas and electric bill down from £90 a month to £40 a month. I have reduced my water from 38 to 24, and I have reduced my sewage from a whopping £48, but that was a complete mistake because there was a leak. So from £48 to £14 a month. So it is just a case of taking that 5 minutes out can really save you a lot of money on your monthly expenses. Number two is to shop around for food. Now, I personally have started zero waste, so buying packaged goods, for instance, is no longer my forte. I do have to shop around to get loose veg, loose apples, less packaged meat, or meat packaged in paper, everything like that. Like, where I've tried to reduce it, I do have to shop around, and therefore I get the best deals. It is so much cheaper, for instance, to buy 1 or 2 apples than buying a bag of apples. So what I did is I took note of what I was throwing away each week, and based on what I was buying. So for instance, I was buying a pack of 5 apples a week. However, I wasn't using 5 apples a week. I was having it about twice. And as much as I would love to be that person that has apple and chocolate or apple and cheese every single day and being like proper healthy, I'm not. Like, I'm seriously not that person. As much as I would like to be when I'm shopping, I'm not. So I was having to make apple juice, or I was throwing away the apples, and now obviously I make apple juice. However, still using apples to make apple juice is a little bit wasteful. So being able to take stock of what I was using, I now only purchase 3 apples a week, and loose peppers and loose mushrooms. And for instance, loose peppers means that I get to have the red and the yellow ones, and I get to leave the green one behind because I'm physically picking it up. So try and shop loose where you can, and that is not because I'm trying to force zero waste on you. It is purely because it is cheaper for you to buy things loose. Yes, it's aggy, and it's obviously, if you do online shopping, it's a little bit harder, but if you go to the shop and do it yourself and pick up loose vegetables and things like that, it is cheaper for you and you will waste less as well. Number 3 is to cut your own hair, and this is not a good representation today of me cutting my own hair. My hair is freshly washed and fuzzy as hell, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. However, if you cut your own hair, and I will leave a link down below to Rosie, who actually has a really good video recently on how to cut your own hair. It's honestly life-changing. I used to cut my ex-partner's hair. It was cheaper. I cut my own hair, I layer my own hair, and it just means I don't have to pay. Personally, for girls, if you're a girl watching this and you are trying to save some money, seriously, like, we pay £200 nearly to get our hair cut and coloured. If you can learn to cut and colour your hair, save you some money. Number 4 is, my tip for you is to buy second-hand where possible. I know not a lot of people like buying second-hand. For instance, I never used to like buying second-hand clothes. Now I do, and I just make sure they're in good condition. I wash them thoroughly. I kind of take stock of the shop itself and the people in the shop. I know it's wrong to judge a book by its cover, but it makes me feel better knowing where I'm buying things from. So I have a set circle, but if you can buy things secondhand, even for instance like looking around my house, my sofa I wanted from DFS was over £1,000. I found it on Facebook for £400 and I absolutely love it. My bed for instance is secondhand, my desk's secondhand. Honestly, my table was free, like my coffee table was free. My shelf was secondhand from my dad. Like, I have lots of secondhand items in my house which make me very, very happy, serve their purpose, and quite frankly do have wear and tear on them, but they're gonna get wear and tear anyway. So if you can buy things secondhand on the internet, then do it. I think it's becoming more and more popular, especially with like Facebook Marketplace, because so many people want to find a good bargain and so many people want to make a bit of cash. So use it, abuse it. Tip number 5, I'm having to read off my book, do apologise, is to leave your heating on or to program your thermostat. Now, leaving your heating on to me was such a like in my head I was like, what, how is this gonna save me money? But my dad was like, seriously Emily, trust me, you need to leave your heating on, especially in winter. Obviously now going forward you can start turning your heating off. Mine is slowly reducing down. However, if you leave your heating on, your boiler doesn't have to fire up. What costs a lot of money is when your boiler has to fire up and reheat water from like cold to boiling hot, okay? If you have your boiler on all the time, then it is constantly ticking over, keeping your heating and keeping your hot water at a certain level. That means if you set your thermostat to say when my house gets below 18 degrees, it heats it up, then your house will always be warm. So for me in particular, I have a lot of external walls. Lost my thought. I have a lot of external walls and therefore they are freezing cold. And therefore, when I turned my heating on before, I was having to wait for my house to heat up, so my walls and my furniture to heat up before I'd actually feel warmth inside the house, inside the air. And since leaving my heating on, my gas bill has dropped, for instance. I'm not having to whack it up to 24, 25 degrees to get kind of a quick heat rush. I don't have to plug in electric heaters. My house is generally warm throughout, and yeah, it might sound stupid, but give it a go, because honestly it has reduced my gas bill and kept my house warm. Obviously don't do it during summer. Anyway, tip number 6 is to regrow your vegetables. Now I've only recently started doing this and I only do it for things like potatoes, carrots, onions and celery. That's all I've got at the moment. But essentially root vegetables that you can regrow when you have the base of them, like onions for instance. Regrow them if you're that type of person. I know not everyone's that type of person. I definitely wasn't, but I was just like, why do I not try to regrow them? I put them in a water bath for a few days, soak them in, and then put them in little pots of soil. Now I'm no savvy person. I know it's not going to take days for this to come through. I know I've got to wait a long time for these vegetables to regrow, but if I just get into the habit of regrowing vegetables, then at least 1, I'm saving myself money at some point down the line, and 2, I'm learning a new skill. Like, I have no green fingers yet. Number 7 is to reduce your insurance, and for this I mean kind of your car insurance rather than any other insurance. But what I learned recently, and I didn't really know this, I knew it sounds stupid, I knew that when you're a young driver, to add your parents onto your policy kind of brings the cost down. For me it didn't, because I have no idea why. I had a really stupid car and they were just like, yeah, we're gonna have your insurance up. However, since having this Micro, my insurance have dropped. So 1, if you get a sensible car, your insurance drops. However, adding additional drivers, now this isn't necessarily possible. However, my partner has a rather crappy, if he doesn't mind me saying, a rather crappy driving score. He's got points. He's recently had an accident, as I explained in another video, because he called up like mid-filming, and therefore his premium has gone up. For him to add me onto that car, because I have no claims and I have a no claims history, and I'm a female driver, I'm over the age of 25, and all the things that kind of tick boxes, his insurance for this whole entire year dropped by over £1,200, and I was shocked, like seriously shocked. I thought, oh, okay, it would probably come down a little bit, but seriously shocked. And then, just to top it off, because I then looked at my own insurance, if I said, look, I do have access to another car, my insurance dropped by a couple of £100, and I was like, what? That's crazy. But because obviously you're not the only person using that car, it could be the other person that's in that car and have an accident, it brings it down, especially if that person has got a clear score. So if you have a partner or someone who would at some point, maybe the odd 1 or 2 days, need to use your car, and for instance they've got a clean record and you haven't, look into adding additional drivers, because honestly I was shocked at the amount it reduced my partner's premium. I was like, damn, just damn. These people know how to make money. Number 8, and I've said this one before and you've heard everyone say it, quite frankly, so you can kind of skip over if you're not that interested. However, use cash where possible. I used cash for about 3 years ago now. When I started this whole journey to try and get financially abundant, I started using cash, and I would save it. At the end of the week I would take the rest of my cash out that I had in my purse, put it in a piggy bank, and then go to the cash point and get my next set of cash out. Now, because I don't really leave the house and I don't have a lot of expenses, I don't get cash out. However, I'm a lot more lenient. I'll only give myself a budget a certain weeks that I will basically put my money into a savings account and issue myself onto my card money every single week as a budget. And then at the end of that week, I will then clear that money back into a different savings account. So using the cash method is a great way for starting off to try and save money, because you physically have to give that money over to someone. It kills you to give that money to someone, it absolutely kills you. And you can physically see it going down rather than just numbers on a bank account. Number 9 is to get rid of your TV subscriptions. Now, I'm not talking about Netflix, okay? Everyone needs Netflix in their life. Like, Netflix is amazing. However, I am talking about everything else. So personally, me and my partner only ever watch YouTube, Netflix, Amazon TV, because it came with the Amazon Prime account. We do not watch bullshit on ITV, Channel 4, BBC. We don't watch soaps, we don't watch anything like that. If we want to watch it, we will find a way, or we'll go around our friend's house, watch it, or other ways and means of watching things. But in instance, it doesn't really entertain us. And if you're one of these people that is literally paying for TV and Sky or a whole Virgin Media package and you don't need to, cut it down. By getting rid of our TV, not only did I reduce our Virgin package down, I got rid of our TV license subscription, because you don't need a TV license to watch YouTube and Netflix. And quite frankly, I saved a lot of time and effort, because a lot of people be like, oh, watch this show, and I'm like, no, I can't, and therefore I don't want to. So, and that leads me on to my last point, number 10, and that is do DIYs where you can. Now, this seems quite obvious, however, recently, I'm not going to mention it again, blah blah blah, zero waste, yeah. I now DIY hand soap, so I get it in bulk. I get Castile soap in bulk, and I DIY it for shampoo, washing up liquid, hand soap, floor cleaner. It's such a multi-purpose product, and I DIY all of it. I DIY absolutely bloody everything you can imagine. Anything I can DIY, I'm trying, especially because a lot of them, you can find multi-purpose products like Castile soap, for instance. It eliminates all of this extra money, and we personally in my house go through hand soap like it is going out of fashion. I don't know what Sol does. I think he must actually eat it, but we go through hand soap like it is going out of fashion. And to be able to buy a multi-purpose product which I can use to make my own shampoos and floor soap and washing up liquid and hand soap has reduced our cost so much. To buy 5 kilograms worth of Castile soap, which will last between a month and a half to 2 months, it cost me £10, rather than buying literally hand soap every single week. So even if I got hand soap at a deal for £1 for 2 months, that would be £8. Shampoo, washing up liquid, floor cleaner, it all adds up, and I save so much money. So DIY if you can, look into multi-purpose products, and that is it for this video. I will see you next Wednesday for my second ever Budget Wednesday video, and as you can see, talking saving money makes me happy. So anyway, I will see you next week. Bye.